Morning children, welcome to online classes DEO Nalgonda. Today we shall see the 6th unit of our class Art and Culture. So what is culture? Culture is our customs, our behavior, our traditions. These are all etc. These are all called as our culture. Then look into the textbook and the face sheet. There are 4 pictures are there in the face sheet. Look at the first picture. What is there in the first picture? Yes, some toys, some handmade toys. These handmade toys we use to decorate our homes, as well as kids use these toys for play. And what is there in the second picture? The second picture shows some threads, some sacred threads, and whenever we go for fairs, there we buy these threads and we tie to our hands. And what is there in the third picture? Yes, the idols of Lord Ganesha. So these idols we buy in the market and we pray during these Vinayaka Chauthi festivals. And the last picture, yes, it is a dance form. So every state and every country has its own dance form. It is Kathakali dance form. So these are all included in our culture. So let us see a culture, a tradition or cultural fabric that is called Ikat. So we see the story of Ikat. Now I will read the lesson. Look into the textbook. Bell rang for the next class. The small break before the next class was enough for the children. They moved around and started chatting. The mandatory 5 minutes was over and the teacher did not come. The children started wondering, Ramya, do you think Janaki teacher is absent? Ramya, looking out of the classroom, said, how do I know? A few students were grinning. Everyone knew Ramya loved Janaki teacher who taught them social studies. So this is also a story related to our classroom. Generally when the bell rings, what happens? The teacher enters the class. So like that, what happened? The bell rang for the next class and a teacher went out, and there is some gap was there to another teacher to come. Then generally what do you do, children, in that gap? Yes, you started chit-chatting with your friends. So in this class also the students were chatting with one another, and they were waiting for the Janaki teacher, the social studies teacher. So then it was 5 minutes were over. She was not yet came. Then one of the children asked the student named Ramya, Ramya, do you think Janaki teacher is absent? Yes. So the child asked Ramya whether Janaki teacher was absent. Absent, what is the opposite of absent? Present. Yes. Then Ramya said, how do I know? But all the children knew that Janaki teacher, Ramya loved Janaki teacher very well. So generally every student has his own or her own favorite teacher. Like you also have some favorite teacher in your class. So then suddenly they noticed the teacher carrying bundles of clothes walking towards the class. A few of them dashed to help her. They all liked her as she was fair to everyone and was never partial to one student. The brilliant and black checked rumals, shawls with black and blue geometric patterns caught the attention of the class as the teacher handed over the material to the eager helpers. Suddenly they noticed. Suddenly. What is the opposite of suddenly? Gradually. Yes. Suddenly these students noticed that Ramya teacher is coming towards their class and she was carrying some clothes. She was carrying some clothes to her class, and eagerly they moved forward to her and helped her in carrying those clothes. So there were some brilliant red and black checked rumors were there, shawls and black, blue patterns of clothes, and these all clothes caught the attention of the class, and the teacher handed over the clothes to the eager helpers. She pinned them neatly on the soft board, and the drab class suddenly looked vibrant. Teacher, what are these fabrics? Where did you bring them? Children pelted her with questions. She smiled and wrote on the blackboard, Textiles of India, Ikat of Andhra Pradesh. No one could spell Ikat. Someone yelled Ikat, and a few children giggled. Janaki teacher said it is pronounced I as in it, Ka as in Kamala, and T as TH in both. Ikat is an Indonesian term meaning to bind or knot. The class fell silent. Ramya asked, Teacher, are these fabrics from Indonesia? Teacher shook her head and said, Children, can anyone remember seeing designs like this? Raghav said, Teacher, the pattern on the rumal is similar to the one on my mother's saree, though the colors are not the same. Janaki was pleased. Yes. So here the class became, up to the entering of Janaki teacher, the class was drab. Drab means dull or boring. Then after coming of Janaki teacher with all these vibrant colors or various colors of colors, the class became vibrant. Vibrant means very active, full of energy. Then the students asked, Teacher, what are these fabrics? When did you bring them? The children were asking questions to the teacher. Then Janaki teacher smiled and she wrote on the blackboard, Textiles of India, the story of Ikat. Yes, Ikat of Andhra Pradesh. No one could spell Ikat. Someone spelled Aikat. And then Janaki teacher explained it should be spelled as Ikat, as I in it, Ka in Kamala, and Th in both. Then she said it's an Indonesian term. This Ikat is an Indonesian term, which means to bind or not. Ikat means to bind or not. Not means, binding means we generally bind something. If we want to make a group of for example, these chalk pieces are here, and if we want to bind, we shall take a thread and we will bind it, we will knot it. So that is called binding. Then Ramya asked, Teacher, are these fabrics which you bought are from Indonesia? No, the teacher said, these all fabrics are related to our country only. Then she asked a question, have you ever seen these patterns of clothes? Have you ever seen these patterns? Then a student, Raghav, replied that I saw this kind of pattern on my mother's saree, but the color is different. Yes, then Janaki teacher was very pleased, felt very happy. Generally, every teacher feels very happy whenever the student gives responses. The next, she persisted. Can anyone tell me the name of the place? It is close to our state capital. There, I gave you a clue. The children started shouting names of all the towns in the state. In the midst of the babble, someone said Nalgonda. And the teacher said, correct, it is Pochampalli village in Nalgonda district. Everyone immediately connected to the name. Teacher, we forgot, we could not link. We all know Pochampalli. Teacher said, quite, let me tell you the story of Ikat. It is a story of our handlooms. What are handlooms? Ahmad was the first to voice the question in everyone's mind. Yes. The teacher persisted. Persisted means continued. The teacher continued. Can anyone tell me the name of the place which is close to our capital? The capital of Telangana is Hyderabad. Yes. So, which is near to Hyderabad city. Then generally every student guesses the names. Someone said LB Nagar and someone said Rangareddy district or Uppal and someone said Chautuppal, someone said Bhuvangere, like this. One of the students said Pochampal, Nalgonda. Yes. One of the students said Nalgonda. Yes, immediately the teacher said that yes, it is in Nalgonda district. Pochampalli is in Nalgonda district. So erstwhile, when these districts were not divided, Pochampalli was in Nalgonda itself, but Nalgonda has been divided into three districts. One is Nalgonda, Suryapet and Yadadri Bhuvanagiri district. This Pochampalli is now in Yadadri Bhuvanagiri district, and all the students said that yes madam, we know Pochampalli. And teacher said, quite, all of you. Let me tell you the story of Ikat. Then it is the story of our handlooms. What are handlooms? The students asked. Ahmad was the first to voice the question in everyone's mind. So what are handlooms? A loom is a machine to weave fabric. Handloom means a handmade, hand-operated machine. Power loom means power-operated machine to weave or to make fabrics. Teacher gazed around the class and said, a hand-operated loom which weaves and has been weaving fabrics for centuries. In the race with the machine, we have forgotten our heritage. She fell silent and the children recognized her pensive mood and kept silent. Someone hesitantly asked, teacher, you mentioned the story of Ikat. Yes. So your teacher gazed around the class. She looked around the class and said, a hand-operated loom which weaves and has been weaving fabrics for centuries. So for centuries we are using hand looms. But now after coming of power looms, hand looms were slowly decreasing their status, and many of the weavers were moving to the cities and doing other jobs. So over the centuries, we are using these hand looms for making clothes. So in the race of machine, after the industrial revolution broke up, what happened? Using of machinery was increasing day by day. So in that race, we forgot. Forget means, what is the opposite of forget? remember. So many of the people do not know hand looms. So like while she was saying these sentences, because many weavers were losing their jobs, she went to a pensive mood. Pensive mood means sad. She went into sad mood and kept silent for a while. Then immediately one of the students said, "Teacher, you mentioned the story of Itkar." Yes. Janaki began. It is called Chitiki in Telugu, Patola in Gujarati, and simply Ikat in Oriya. Children's attention was divided between her words and the fabrics. As she opened a silk Patola saree from Patan, Gujarat, it had a red design on the black background with rows of flowers in the border. The simple leaf design repeated across the body and the flowers in the border created a mesmerizing effect. The Janaki teacher began. It is called Chitiki. It is called Chitiki in Telugu and Patola in Gujarati and simply Ikar in Oriya. So children's attention now divided between these clothes and the teacher's words. The teacher was uttering new words. The Chitiki and Patola and Ikar, these words. Then she opened a Patola saree. She opened a saree and she opened a cloth of some designs. Then it was a red cloth with some designs on it. On the border of that cloth there were some flowers and a simple leaf design was repeated all over the saree. The saree created a mesmerizing effect on the students. Yes, mesmerizing means that we can't change our attention. So whenever you see a new thing and if you see an interesting thing, you won't change your attention and you gaze it. That is called mesmerizing. The teacher said, "Are you thinking about the word ikat or tie and dye? While you are looking at the fabrics, what can be the origin of the word?" No one answered but looked expectantly as she continued. "In hand weaving, we have threads stretched lengthwise called warp, and threads intersecting them widthwise called weft. Imagine the graph sheet and the x-axis and the y-axis and how they crisscross to form square motifs." Ahmad was excited. "Teacher, warp is stretched along y-axis and weft along x-axis." The class was thrilled as a new understanding came. So the teacher said, "Are you thinking about the word ikat or tie and dye?" Yes. While you are looking at the fabrics, the teacher asked, "What can be the origin of this word?" What can be the origin of this word ikat? The students generally don't know about it and they were looking at the teacher's face expecting the answer. Then the teacher said, "We have threads stretched lengthwise and widthwise." So generally, for example, if you see this graph, we have lines of lengthwise and widthwise. So these lines which are there for a cloth, if we can see lines for the cloth also. So here some are lengthwise and some are widthwise. So in handloom also some lengthy threads will be there and these horizontal lines intersect them in weaving and they make a cloth. So the teacher said, The threads which are stretched lengthwise called var. The threads which are stretched lengthwise called var, and the threads which are intersecting them widthwise called weft. Yes. So here yes, we have these cloths. We have these threads which are stretched lengthwise. These threads are called var, and some threads are there which are stretched widthwise. These are called weft. Then Ahmad said that, teacher, warp is stretched along y-axis. Warp is stretched along y-axis and weft is stretched along x-axis. So can you understand this? Understand, students? Once again I will explain. Weft is stretched along x-axis and warp is stretched along y-axis. Then all the students thrilled there after coming a new understanding. Janaki said, in ikat, the threads are carefully stored, warp and weft divided into bundles, then tied with locally available waterproof materials like plastic sheets, rubber strips from car and bicycle tires, then dropped into color. Once you untie the knots, you can see white threads dotted with color at intervals. Ravi said, teacher, how do they know where to tie the knots? Janaki smiled. The ties indicate the design we want. We can look at the design or a motif and tie. Ravi looked puzzled. It did not seem simple. Yes. So the teacher said, in ikat, threads are carefully stored, warp and weft, and divided into bundles. A bundle like this. These threads are carefully sorted and they were divided into bundles like this and then tied with some rubber. You can see rubber bundle is there, and it is what we can say the tubes, rubber tubes also they use. And after tying these, they dip into the color. After tying these knots with rubber bundle, they dip the whole threads into the color. Then what happened now? We can see all the threads became blue. Then what they will do? They will neatly remove the threads. So here you can see, if you remove this thread, only some white color will appear. Yes, you can see white here. So where we tie this rubber, the color was not stick to it, and it is white and a design made. And if you open all these rubber strips, you can see a design also. With this, generally you can see on your designs like this on the sarees and somewhere like this. So then the teacher, while the teacher was explaining all these things, one of the students asked, teacher, how do they know where to tie the knots? Then Ravi looked puzzled, and it seems very simple. It doesn't seem very simple, and it is very hard to make this design. Yes. Ravi, you are absolutely right. The teacher said it is not easy. First, you count the threads, measure the distance, calculate when to repeat a pattern. Only then you can tie the knots. Yes. So the teacher said, yes, absolutely, Ravi. It is not an easy job. It's not an easy job. We have to count the threads and measure the distance. We have to count the threads and measure the distance, and then only we have to tie the rubber, and when to repeat and where to repeat. They have to have an idea regarding it. Teacher, it seems like different maths, Ramya said. Yes. Ramya said that it is a different maths to knot these bundles. Correct. Weavers may not be formally educated but have complex calculation at their fingertips. They draw patterns on the graphs and copy them on the threads. Janaki continued, just close your eyes and imagine threads stretched out long with dots of different colors shining. I have seen such a sight in villages of Nalgonda, someone said. Teacher, the dots are like raindrops. Chukka. That is how the name Chitiki Rumal. This was the favorite headgear of fishermen and other laborers. It was also the towel on the shoulders of traders in Gujarat. Yes. So it is a difficult task to knot these fabrics, to make it, to give it a particular color. Why? Because the weaver should have an idea where the particular color should come, and where the another color should come, and how to design it. So here teacher said that though these weavers are formally not educated, they were great mathematicians. And the teacher said that just close your eyes and imagine threads stretch out long and dots of different colors. So here in the graph itself, generally these weavers make a design. So here if you want to give this design like this, they first draw it on the graph, and then they arrange these threads widthwise and lengthwise, and they make knots here. With that, what happens? The particular color or particular design that comes which they wish. So like this. Then the students said that we have seen this kind of chitiki. This is called chitiki or chukka. They put some dots on it. That is called chukka. And the chitiki rumal, it was the favorite headgear. Headgear means generally the farmers and fishermen tie on their heads, and it was also the towel on the students, on the shoulders of traders in Gujarat. She suddenly thought of another explanation. She asked, children, when you have to measure a small quantity of a material, you use a specific word in Telugu. This time Ramya answered promptly, Chitikedu. And before she completed, the comprehension was written large on every child's face. Teacher, Chitiki means small and small dots of color which are characteristic of Ikkad. They chorused. The class was jubilant. They were able to come up with an original explanation for a historical phrase. Then, while explaining this one, the teacher asked, when you when you have to measure a small quantity, what do you call it in your mother tongue? Telugu. Then Ramya promptly said that chitikedu. If you want to give some salt, then you say that chitikedu uppu, like that. So the chitikedu means a small one, small quantity. So like this, teacher said chitiki means a small dots. Yes, this chitiki came from a word chitikedu. Chitiki means small dots. Here earlier we have shown on the graph. So these small dots are called chitiki. So these dots will be written on the threads, and according to those dots they tie the knots. Then the class became jubilant, means very happy. All the students felt very happy as they know the meaning for a historical phrase. When trade was vigorous with other nations in Southeast Asia, tie and dye or chitiki as the lengths of fabrics was a favorite export item, both in silk and cotton. She said there are other interesting stories on ikat. Different regions fight about its origin. Did it travel from Gujarat to the south or vice versa? Did it first originate in the coastal belt of Andhra Pradesh and travel to Nalgonda? There is no systematic historical documentation to resolve this dispute. The class was fully attentive now. So what happened? That when the trade was vigorous, that means very active with other nations like Southeast Asia, tie and dye or chitiki are lengths of these fabrics are have a lot of demand. Then our Indians use it to export to them. Export means sending to other countries. What is the opposite of export? Import. Import means the goods which we take from other countries are called importing. Yes. Then she said there are other interesting stories on ikat. So many people were fighting that this word ikat, different regions fight that this word ikat came from our nation. And in India particularly, the people believe that this word ikat traveled from Gujarat to south or south to Gujarat. And some people said that it has come from coastal area of Andhra Pradesh and moved to Nalgonda district, Pochampalli, which is a very famous place for this ikat. And still the dispute was going on. Dispute means disagreement between two people or more people regarding anything. It's called dispute. Then for Raksha Bandhan, the tying of the knots was done by yellow and red ikat dyed threads. In our tradition, tying the knot is sacred. Maybe this has a relation to tying and dyeing process. But in parts of Gujarat, Maharashtra and Deccan, designs in ikat were very much influenced by Muslim culture. The bell was ringing, but the class was lost in period where vibrant colors and compelling stories were woven into beautiful fabrics. So for Raksha Bandhan also, what do you do generally on Raksha Bandhan? Girls, women tie a Raksha Bandhan to their brothers. So for that we buy a sacred thread. It will be in yellow or red color. We feel yellow and red colors are sacred for us. And tying is from ancient days. Tying is a sacred thing in our culture. You might have seen in the marriage also the bridegroom ties a yellow thread to the bride. Yes. So, but in some parts of Gujarat, Maharashtra and Deccan, designs like ikat were very much influenced by Muslims also, Muslim culture also. Then what happened? Then the bell rang for the next class, and all the students felt very happy for knowing these, knowing about this ikat, and the class became vibrant with colors and compelling stories woven into beautiful fabrics. Children, to know how far you understood the lesson, the story of ikat, I am giving some questions to you. Note down these questions and answer them in your notebook. The first question is, what is the main theme of the story? What is the main theme of the story of ikat? And then the second one is, what does ikat mean? Right, the meaning of the word, the term ikat. And the third one, what do we call chitiki in Gujarati? That is the direct answer is given in your textbook. See and write. And what is war? What is the term? The meaning of the term war. And what is weft? And what is the meaning of the word weft? And what is your favorite color? So it is the lesson regarding this color, and write it in your own words. Okay, children? Now, under vocabulary part, we shall see about homonyms and homophones. Homonyms and homophones. So, what are homonyms? Homonyms are the words which have same spelling, same pronunciation and different meaning. What are same here? Spelling and pronunciation. Spelling and pronunciation are same, but meaning is different. Meaning is different. These kinds of words are called homonyms. So, can you give an example for homonym? Yes, I will explain to you. For example, bat is there. What is bat? You like cricket. Many of the students like cricket. So, we use bat in cricket match. And another bat, generally bats hang on the branches at night. In Telugu we call it gabbilam. Yes. So these two words have same spelling and same pronunciation but different in meaning. These kinds of words are called homonyms. We shall see next example. Another one, well and well. One well is generally we dig wells for cultivation, and in olden days people used to draw water from the wells. That is well. And another well is the meaning of good we use well. And watch. Watch. What does it mean? Yes, a watch which we wear on our wrist or which is hanged to a wall, that is called watch, which is used for knowing time. Another meaning for watch is watching movie. What are you doing means we say generally watching movie when you are watching movie. So that is watch and watch. These types of words are called homonyms. And the right, one indicates side and another indicates whether it is right or wrong, and rows and rows, like these words are called homonyms. And homophones. What are homophones? Homophones are the words which are different in spelling. Spelling different and meaning also different, but pronunciation is same. spelling is different and meaning also different. For example, blue is there. Blue is a color. This blue is the wind blues. The wind blues. That is blue. And buy, B-U-Y, buy, and B-Y-E, buy. We buy generally vegetables. And buy means goodbye. Bedding, buy. And dye in our class itself, we have seen it. D-Y-E, dye, and D-I-E, dye. D-Y-E, dye means putting color to someone. Generally, the old people and the middle-aged people who got white hair on their hair, they dye their hair, they color it. Dye means coloring. Then here this dye is the people, dye means living their life. Okay, that is called dye. And whole and whole. Hole means some small hole is there in the wall, or we see something from the hole like that. It is a hole. And hole means the complete part of something is called whole. So here all the spellings are different, but pronunciation is same. The words which are like these are homophones. Now children, some examples also given in your textbook. Look at that examples, and some homework is also given in the textbook. You do it and show it to your teachers.